views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hi, listeners. This is Dr. Glenna Wright, and I am filling in today for Dr. Pat, which I'm really excited about. And this is going to be an amazing show. I've got a really fun topic that we're going to go have a questionable conversation about today. And I've got a wonderful guest here with me. Julie Perkins is going to be my guest. She's a mom, and she's a coach, and she's a teacher and a motivational speaker, radio show host. She's a great show about teens. That she'll tell us more about. She's an international best-selling author, energy worker, healer, breast cancer survivor, which I love the name. I'm not a survivor. And she's an active consciousness certified facilitator, as am I. And Julie, not only is she all of this, but she also has a love of conversations change, which is really cool, and one of the reasons I brought her on as my guest today to talk about our wonderful topic. And she loves, bringing more consciousness into the world. Having conversations create like a rebirth of the natural intuitive abilities we have, a zest for life on planet Earth, here and now. She's a really great friend of mine, and she's truly a gift to everybody who works with her and she facilitates. Just an amazing woman. So welcome, Julie, to our show today.
Thanks so much for having me here. It's always great to have a great conversation with you, especially one that's questionable.
Yes, questionable conversation. Question-able, because really that's what we're going to be. Asking questions creates. Coming up with answers doesn't create. So being able to ask questions, being question-able, is really what the joy I get from these conversations in the show and talking about. The stuff I love, and I do. The consciousness on the planet, more consciousness on the planet. So today, I was kind of inspired by my life, being a mother, being busy, having my parents living with me, and this thing where when is my life ever about me? So as a mom, is your life ever about you? And is that even true? And how many points of view do you have in place that are holding that point of view in place so you're always proving to yourself it's not about you? And what if we could have a totally different possibility? And Julie and I had a conversation a couple days ago about this, and she had some really, really cool things to say about it. I mean, Julie, you were talking about when your kids were younger, how so much of your life seemed to not be about you and what that created for you and what it created in your body. And I don't know if you want to share a bit of that with our audience, and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think that where it really started was with the choice to actually become a parent. My husband was very sure about that. He was like, wow, I really want to become a parent. And I was kind of like, do I want to become a parent? Could I actually do that? Could I actually succeed at that?
Right.
What does that look like? Is there an information packet somewhere?
No,
do the kids come with a manual, please? I'm a pretty good student. I could study up on that, so I think, from that very first choice, there was a lack of confidence and a whole lot of self-doubt about if I could actually really do that. And it's because I had seen so many of my peers really struggling with the whole thing about parenthood. And so when I committed to that, then I dove headlong into that, and everything became about being the best parent that I possibly could and creating the best kids that I possibly could. And there wasn't a whole lot of question in there. It was just like, give me the rules about how this thing works and let me just drive towards that and drive and drive and drive, and so there's a lot of contraction in that, and kind of a compaction of me into this box of what I thought, being a mom should be, and also what the kids should be too, right? So like what a good kid is and what a bad kid is and all of that kind of stuff. And so, that kind of contraction and compaction really started to create some not ease or dis-ease in my body. Literally, I the kids were 3 and 8 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So on the younger side of when breast cancer diagnosis happens also, and the kids being on the younger side. And that created actually a lot of angst and upset in my world. So that was a really interesting time.
Whoa, yeah. And, I think a lot of mothers can definitely have the same point of view about when we become parents. And I know I did. Like, there isn't a toolbox. There isn't a manual we have. I mean, I do love that you asked the question before you got pregnant, because so few people even go that far. It's like, can I actually do this? I'd be curious, did you have an awareness that you could? I mean,
I had an awareness that I could. I think somewhere, which I didn't realize till much later on, I had the awareness that I was actually wanting something different or perceiving something different, yet really not sure what that looked like in this world, So as I just looked to the outside and looked at what everybody else does, well, they look happy. Well, they look like they're getting it right. They look like they got their act together. So let's just try what they're doing,
Yeah, that's funny, because we look at other people and we think they're happy. But it's really a thinking. It's not really a question. Are they actually happy? Are they doing something that's working for their family? And so often, if you ask that question when you're looking at other families, you'll actually not get a yes. It may not be that they actually, they're showing their perfect life, but that may not actually be what's going on. And what does it actually have to do with your family? Like, what does other families have to do with your own family? It's such an interesting way we go around as young parents looking for how to do it from everyone else. And when we could just, like, what do we actually know about parenting we've never, ever considered possible? What do you know about parenting? And really,
and it's funny because, exactly. What do we really know about parenting in a space and in a way that actually works for all of us, that works for me as a mom, that works for the kids as kids, that works for them, in their unique place where they are beyond their biological years, right? So I think, I was actually had a fond memory of Christmas time. My dad worked for IBM, and years ago, they in the Poughkeepsie, New York area, they had a large IBM country club, because there was a lot of IBMers there, and they had this great, huge hall filled with Christmas tree and Christmas lights and songs and carolers and tables of presents that the kids of IBM employees were able to get. And they could only get the toy at the table for the age that they were and for the gender that they were. So it's like, girls, age 5. This was your toy, and so while that was an amazingly fond memory of all the lights and the presents and things like that, it always stuck with me as like, this is your toy. You're a girl, age 5, and this is what you get. And that's it.
I'd like to know who was the person that decided which toys went with which age and which gender. I mean, that would be a difficult job for me.
Exactly. Exactly. It got me thinking about how much of that we do, right? As parenting. It's like, all right, so your kids are this age now, and they're this gender, and you should be seeing signs of this, and you should be engaging them in activities like this, and so on and so forth. How much of that is really running through our society and how much of it is that we're buying and not really following our own knowing. And like you said, asking the question, what is it that's going to work right here? Or is this working even? Like what's going on here is also a question.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? What's happening? What's going on here? Just some question other than an conclusion or an assumption, right?
Right. Well, there's no question at all about the children in that and what they would like, what they would enjoy, and what would be fun for them, and what would create more in their life. Like this is a box to put it in. And it's, even if you're going the opposite direction, which is way more now than when we were children, the kids can play with different toys and gender stereotypes aren't strong. They still are there, but they're nothing like they were when we were little. You're still not asking a question when you're coming from that point of view, because you may have that little boy that's absolutely going to play with trucks, or that little girl that's absolutely going to play with Barbie dolls, and that's what she loves more than anything. It's really, we have to be talking to our children and asking questions about what do they enjoy, and really asking them, hey, what would be fun for you to play with? Like, what would you have chosen at that plethora of toys to pick? What age group, what gender would you have picked? Someone said, hey, so what would be fun for you to play with today, Julie?
Yes, exactly. And I see that there has been so many of my peers that actually, with working with the tools of access consciousness, I've seen a lot of change in people who have been willing to go and to ask that question. And what I'm really curious though now about too is that the parents are going there and willing to ask those questions of the kids. And are the parents, and the moms especially, and that's what we were talking about the other day, Glenna, are the parents themselves, the moms especially, willing to ask those questions of themselves? What is it that would work for me here?
Yes.
What
if it could be an amazing parent and include you in the creation of your life and your reality and the family? What if your family's work for you? They're such amazing questions. And I really am curious, when we were speaking, you were talking about, you talked about your breast cancer survivor. And the things that you were saying and doing, creating, like how, the whole thing where we are the creators of our reality and our point, it's from our point of view that we create our reality, and what your points of view were at that time. And we're going to be going to a commercial break here in a minute, so maybe we can come back and start up with that, and you can talk more about what it was that you were actually, the kind of spells you were creating against yourself at the time that contributed to the creation of what showed up in your life.
Yes, let's do that. Yep, after the commercial. I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthисfunny.com.
Integrate spirituality into your everyday lives on Universe Soul Heart Radio. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Kathleen Johnson explores the concept of sensible spirituality, keeping you grounded, connected, and centered on the path to wholeness. Kathleen has dedicated her life to facilitating holistic healing and wholeness in others. Listen to Universe Soul Heart Radio and learn how to flourish, grow, and impact all we do on planet Earth. For more information, go to universesoulheart.net.
Don't you wish you had more joy in your life? Check out the new book by Robert Max Schoenfeld, For the Love of Joy, a 30-day adventure for creating joy in your life, because you deserve more joy, more love, more health, more abundance, and more life. Available now on Amazon. Get your copy today. Visit theartofpowerfulliving.com. That's theartofpowerfulliving.com.
What is a brilliant culture, and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you align your culture with your business strategy for exceptional results. Looking for a culture that drives organizational excellence? Listen to Cultural Brilliance Radio, the second and fourth Friday of each month at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit culturalbrilliance.com.
Hey, did you know why they call the foundation? It's called the foundation because it completely eliminates your foundation for what you thought your reality was and creates a whole new space where you can have an entirely new reality that is foundationless. So from my point of view, they should call it the unfoundation or the foundationlessness. Either way, there's a big new global rewrite happening again because these guys cannot stop changing. There should be like a Change Anonymous that Gary and Dane go to. And it's happening April 28th to May 1st. You can find out about it at accessconsciousness.com/global foundation. It's happening in Paris. Go to Paris or do it online or find a pod near you. These are all the options you have. And what else is possible?
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, and this is Dr. Glenna Rice, and I'm filling in for Dr. Pat for the holidays, and I'm really excited. I have about this topic for bringing up today in this show, and I've got a wonderful guest. Julie Perkins is with me, a mom and an Access Consciousness facilitator, and we were just talking about, Julie, what were we talking about? We were talking about so many things. It was really exciting. But before the break, I wanted to ask you about some of the things that you had said or, thought in your head before your diagnosis with breast cancer. Like how we talk in Access about you're the creator of your reality. And, cancer is a really interesting one to bring this up with. And I've worked with lots of people with cancer. And asking someone, did you have any part in creating this? Or what do you love so much about your cancer, which is a really weird question, which I know we talked to you had said that thing afterwards because you weren't using the Access tools when you were first diagnosed. Right. But having an awareness about what you're being or doing or saying or thinking that is contributing to the creation of your reality can really start to break the cycle of this whole thing. Like I've just people that I've worked with have changed cancer from looking at how they created it. Because if you're the creator of your whole reality and everything in your reality, you're the creator of that, and you're the one that can uncreate it and change it, and only you. And it's, you have to kind of be incredibly honest, brutally honest with yourself often with this topic. So I'd love for you to share with the audience what you saw after about it, what you were creating that contributed to this whole thing with you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And so it's such a powerful message and such a powerful journey that you are just describing with many cancer people who have gone through the journey of cancer, is that place where we realize that what our part and what our role is in it, whether you have Access Consciousness tools or not, which I didn't until much later, but the tools now are actually helping me to go back to be exactly that, very aware and brutally honest with what it was. And so what it was for me in that whole parenting scheme was that trying to get it right, that, trying to be the best parent that I can according to all the other standards of everyone else outside of me and everything else, the schools and society and the peers and all of that, and to really impelling that onto my kids as well. Here's how you be a great kid, and here's how you fit in, and all of that. And so after all of that, doing that for quite some time, it really started taking a toll, and things weren't always working. There was not a whole lot of ease. There was always this kind of rush energy and in the house, and the kids would be like, "Are you mad, Mom? Why are you mad?" I'm like, "I'm not mad. This is my rush voice. It's just get in the car. It's time to go." So it's not angry. It's rush. It's rush energy. Just can you perceive that?
That's just describing my life with when my kids were young. Also, it was the same. Yeah, how many mothers out there? So I'm breaking in here just to do a clearing because I just get this energy of so many mothers that have that are like that. It's like in the morning before activities, the way we are just crazy and rushed. We seem like we're angry moms, and we're just trying to get everything perfect. So everywhere you, as a mom or a parent, are trying to get everything perfect and fit everything you think should be into your kid's schedule, into your kid's schedule. Can we destroy and uncreate everything that is?
Yes.
Times a godzillion. Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So just for the listeners, I don't do a lot of clearings on the show, but I have. And it's an access consciousness clearing statement that I said, the weird stuff I said at the end. And you can go to theclearingstatement.com to find out more about that. And it just kind of brings up all the energies. The question I asked brings up all the energies around that. And then everything that you're willing to or would like to or is ready to let go, when I do the pod poc part, will dissipate and change for you. And you may notice a lightening up, some clarity, or other questions pop into your head, a little bit more space in your body, or you may, and it's totally okay if you don't notice anything. But if you want more information, we're not going to go into all of that on the call. You can go to theclearingstatement.com. Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And thank you for that, because that's a pretty intense energy that comes up, that rushing around, getting on time and getting it right and getting there, to be there and show up in the way that is expected of you. All of that kind of lumps into that rush energy for us. And there came a point when I really got sort of sick and tired of that. The kids were sick and tired of it. They were asking me about well, why are you so mad all the time, Mom? It's like, where's Happy Mom? Where did she go? We know she's in there. And when I started saying, you're right, I get this, and I'm sick and tired of this, saying that I'm sick and tired of this over and over again actually created my body as being sick and tired. And so I was sick and tired of not being on time. I was sick and tired of not things going smoothly. I was sick and tired, and it just created and created and created that. And one day I just said, I'd been doing a lot of spiritual work and metaphysical work, and I took a nice long walk out behind our house in the open space, and I was like, all right, universe, I know something's happening here. And whatever it is, just bring it, because I am sick and tired of this. And so, it really just, the energy of that changed into a breast cancer diagnosis that was actually needed to be found by me, because shortly after that walkout back, I actually had my annual mammogram, and it was clear. And so about another month or so after that, I was compelled to do my own breast self-exam while I was taking a shower. So I know that they recommend that. Do it in the shower. Do it about once a month. And at that point in my life, I'd maybe done only a few. If I'd done half a dozen, maybe in my whole entire life. And I was in my, late 30s, early 40s by then. I would have been surprised if I'd done maybe 6. So I felt compelled to do one. And I found a lump that just was not what I felt was something that could be ignored. And so that's, the part of, the good news is that when you ask for something to show itself, it will. The not so great news is that it's going to show in every single way that you may not have expected. And pod me there for that. Because, it's always just the way it needs to be, right? It's always just the way that it could and should be for you in that point in time. And that's the part about being brutally honest. And so from there, I had a couple doctors' meetings, and it found out that, yes, I did in fact have breast cancer. But it was my willingness to be aware and be very present with it and brutally honest, as you put it earlier, that allowed me to kind of move forward and through that. And it was also the willingness to actually have that kindness and caring and attention on me to factor me into my life and to really be aware of it. So there are easier ways to do this. That's the good news. And I think that's really what we're talking here about is what other ways to do this. You do not have to get a diagnosis like this to ask questions and change your life. Exactly. It doesn't have to be this way. But what can we learn from this? That's part of what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a couple, in there that when you were saying I'm sick and tired, it's that point of view is one of the things that creates your reality. And I know that there's people are saying this all the time. I hear it all the time. I'm sick and tired of my pain. I'm sick and tired of being busy. I'm sick and tired of having no money. I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. And that is a point of view that starts to create exactly that. It's not that you become tired because you're so busy. It's because the point of view that you're sick and you're tired that creates that reality for you, which is really weird if you look at it. But, in this reality, that's not the way we talk about things. But truly, it's like if you can acknowledge, wow, my life isn't working for me. My life is actually not working for me. That's why you're saying you're sick and tired. There's things in your life that aren't working, and to find out and acknowledge what those are for you and not say I'm sick and tired. This can be a thing you can catch yourself saying, oh, wow, that's not actually what I want to create right now. It's more that something's not working. And with it not working, what if you just acknowledge that, you can take this whole sick and tired thing off of your body. You don't have to create being tired all the time or having colds or flus or all the other things. It's so often someone that has cold and flu symptoms that would come in my practice or that I'd work with, and I would say, so what are you sick and tired of? And they would have said that phrase maybe the day before they started having the symptoms of a cold. And that is what created that. And your body kind of just goes, oh, okay, you want to be sick and tired. Wonder what I can create. That's Julie, you created something pretty powerful. You're an amazingly powerful, potent creator. And saying I'm sick and tired and you're that potent, whew, and it's not about going, oh my God, I've said that so much, what's going to happen now? That's not the energy I want to be out there. It's like acknowledge what you're creating because you can change it. And Julie, your story goes on to be quite amazing in your change. And I think we're coming up to a break here soon. So what I'd like to come back with would be this other great question, what's so right about this I'm not getting? So you weren't asking that at the time. Your story just is such an example of how that, looking at it from a place of not what's wrong about it, but was actually what did I create here that I've not acknowledged, to allow you to have the change you're creating and to see what you are creating in your life and be more of a contribution to what that is. So I'd like to let all the listeners know this is Dr. Glenna Rice, and I'm filling in on the Dr. Pat show today for Dr. Pat for the holidays, and we will come back in a few minutes. Thank you.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Choose the new earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. The Cornelia Stephanie Show is your catalyst for anchoring heaven on earth on a global scale. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Tune in to the Psychic Professors Show, The Voices of Spirit Radio, with international medium and spirit artist Dr. Susan Barnes on Transformation Talk Radio, featuring a variety of spiritual topics such as psychic art, spiritualism, EVP, psychic development, and mediumship. This hit call-in show provides listeners with breakthrough wisdom to enliven and enlighten their lives. Visit spiritartgallery.net.
Tune in each Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio.
Tune into the wisdom of your soul for guidance on living a joyful life. On Soul Wisdom Radio, Wendy will provide inspiration to raise your vibration and connect with your higher self and guides. Learn how to balance your ego and to progress spiritually on Soul Wisdom Radio with Wendy Rose Williams. Visit wendyrosewilliams.com or Transformation Talk Radio to learn more about a healing session with Wendy and her events and publications.
Your happiness is your choice on Natural Peace Radio. Follow Sarah Van Ryswick as she addresses the power of emotions. Each month, Sarah covers different topics as she helps listeners activate their energetic spark and create powerful energy and amazing opportunities. Manifest your desires with Natural Peace Radio. For more information on Sarah and her work, visit naturalpeaceliving.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Glenna Rice. I'm here on the Dr. Pat Show. I'm filling in for Dr. Pat on Transformation Talk Radio. We are here with an amazing guest, one of my dear friends, Julie Perkins, or Julie O, as she likes to be called, and we're having a great question-able conversation about moms and breast cancer and all sorts of things. And, you know, we've been talking about how your point of view creates your reality. And well, first, before we go into that conversation, I'd just like, Julie, if people want to reach you, what was the best way for them to find you?
Thank you, Glenna. The best way for them to find me right now is through my website, which is www.julieoperkins.com. So that's the best way to catch me right now.
Ah, cool. Easy. And you're probably on the Access Consciousness website, too. They can find you at accessconsciousness.com.
I also have a profile on the Access Consciousness website, Julie O. Perkins. Julie O. Perkins is there.
Yeah, you can find her that way in any classes or things she's got going on. And to find me, GlennaRice.com, pretty easy. My name.com is my website, and accessconsciousness.com/Dr. Glenna Rice to find the classes and everything I have coming up. And before we go into more of this conversation, Julie and I'd like to let you know about a really amazing event that Access puts on every single year. It's open to everybody and is all over the world. It's called Global Bars Day. And so it's a whole 24 hours on the planet where people will be running bars. There's going to be bars trades in different cities around the world. You can go online. It's accessglobalbarsday.com. I hope that's the right website. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's one. And you can get it on the accessconsciousness.com website. Also, you can find more information about it. Basically, people will be trading the bars for 24 hours around the world, and there's going to be live streaming, and we're going to be popping in to different pods and talking to different people in amazing countries, because I think Access is in 174 countries. I didn't even know there were that many, but there are. So Access is all over the world. It's going to be different languages and different places, and you can come in and get this amazing body work. Julie, why don't you talk a little bit about what the bars are? And
So, for me, my first introduction to the bars is my friend said, this is this great thing. We should really try this. And so I did try it, and it was okay. It wasn't actually something that I had chosen, though. And when I actually did choose this, and this is something that I know that we're going to talk about now, when you actually choose for you and what would create for you, then things can exponentialize in such amazing ways. So when I did actually choose to go to the bars and receive that 32 points of gentle touch on the head, and so, the points on either side of the head and the space in between, as known as the bar, running the energy through there, and the bars correlating to different parts of your life, like money or control or awareness, and clearing the limitations from your life around those certain aspects of your life with just that gentle touch. What a nurturing, ease-filled space that was for me. I felt like I had just had an incredible massage, even though there was just light point touches on the head. My whole body was lit up. It was tingling. It felt like it was running through that energy. And I didn't have all that stuff like we were talking about earlier running through my head about how things should be, about what the right things were, and how, was I going to get to success from a parenting standpoint, and other things in my life just by after receiving the bars. So one of the things I love most about the bars is that everybody can run bars. So it's not something that your kids can't even do. Kids are actually great at running bars, and my whole family actually runs bars. This is really amazing. And so we are able to gift to each other, and it just creates a space of more ease for us. Yeah.
The ease and the peace of the bars, that what it creates. I've been getting my bars run, so this is one of the things I gift me. When, this is a gift to me. It's about including me in my life, having my bars run. Yes, I can go for a massage. Wonderful, love massages. Get some other body work. But getting my bars run is one of the greatest ways for me to have me back, to have the peace and the calm and the ease that I actually be. And when I'm feeling frantic, back like those rush days, when those are showing up, getting my bars run will totally change it. And it changes it so quickly. I teach classes all over the place, and I've been really, really busy with teaching. I had a really busy schedule in the end of November, December, and I hadn't had my bars run. And finally I said to one of my hosts after class, what I require is my bars getting run. And I think 20, 30 minutes into it, I wasn't tired anymore. I had an ease. My body didn't feel like it'd been working for 10 years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It just changes everything. It's just these points on the head. So I'm just going to say one other really quickly. You can go to Access Bars 365 on Facebook. Access Bars 365. And it's got all sorts of fun information about bars and videos and other things. And accessconsciousness.com to find the global bars in your area. Please go. So easy. Some of them are charging a minimal amount. Some of them may be free trades. I know we're here in San Francisco. And it's $20 to come. Get your bars run, meet people, watch the videos, look at people all around the world doing it. It's really fun. The last couple of years have been absolutely phenomenal, and I couldn't keep my eyes from the streaming that was going on. I didn't get a lot of sleep during those days because it was just so much fun, everything that we were watching and being in the whole energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, like I said, whole families run bars. And so a lot of parents bring their children, because running bars, even in a house, can change the energy in the house for everyone and invite everyone to different possibilities. So there's times when I require my bars run, and my daughter, I sometimes have the point of view as her parent or mom that she needs her bars run because she's cranky, right? But if she's not choosing that, that's okay. That's cool. And at the same time, I know that she runs bars, and we can talk about a deal. It's like, hey, will you please run my bars? And that'll be good for me and my body, good for the house, good for her, because then she can get some, if she chooses it, then she can get what she requires out of it. And sometimes that's money. She's like, well, I'd like to go to the movies and out, and I require some money. So can I run your bars for this amount of money? And so we're actually in in an agree, like in almost like a commitment to it, that it's going to create something for all of us, right? It's by doing that. And it works.
Saying the word commitment. Yeah. Part of being committed to my life, to my reality, which is a really, really, such a big change when I started just looking at what that would be like to be committed to my life. Part of my commitment is getting my bars run. Actually, it is. And it can be a commitment in your family. I know a lot of you guys out there listening may have no idea what the bars are yet, but we're so excited about it. We could talk about this for hours and hours.
Exactly. And this actually answers the question that you posed right before we went to the last break, which was like, what's right about this? Is that really that commitment piece of it? The bars is a part of it, but what was I not committing to in my life that was creating all of this upset, right? And so that was actually me. I was not really committed to me. I was committed to being, a mom. I was committed to being a wife. I was committed to being the PTA person. I was committed to being all of these identities and other roles, but I really wasn't committed to being me and to nurturing myself and to being kind to myself like I was being kind and nurturing and to everyone else in all of these other roles. And so the energy expenditure was like on full on high output. There was no regeneration of energy back into me. It was just like full on out, and really literally running my gas tank out to empty and wondering why I couldn't go another step. It's like, you're out of fuel, baby. You're out of fuel.
You're out of, And, it's interesting, an infinite being, and we talked about this in Access, if you're an infinite being or a limited being, it's a choice you have. And I would choose infinite. I choose infinite. And sometimes it's not always so infinite, my life. Sometimes limitation is right there. And this is one of the things, as an infinite being, you have infinite energy.
Yes.
There isn't a limitation in the energy we can gift and be for everybody around us. It's when you're not gifting it to you that things get all messed up. And
exactly.
dysfunctional and dis-ease starts to show up. And that's such a part of this reality of being a mother or being a parent is you're supposed to be giving up your life. Giving up your life for your children. What a crazy, crazy idea. And who came up with that one? I remember I did that. I gave up my life for my kids. That was my point of view. I kind of was proud of it. It was what you're supposed to do. And I hated it. I absolutely hated giving up my life for my children. And I absolutely thought that's exactly what I should do. That was the point of view out there. And just as a kid, who wants their parent to do that for them? I mean,
they totally perceive that. They totally get that. And then they stop asking for what it is that they require because they feel like it's going to be too much on you. That's going to be too much of a draw on your energy. And that's why I'm so grateful for Access Consciousness and that infinite being, because I was actually doing instead of being. I was doing all of those things, and I was doing energy expenditure instead of being the infinite being, and really having access and having everything available to me that I needed to create. Because obviously I was creating, as you mentioned before. What a creator. I actually created that, so in addition to being sick and tired, one of the other things that I often hear too with my clients is like, well, I just needed a break. Give me a break. And they are actually ending up with everything from actual physical fractures in their body to these extended illnesses that would give them, quote, the time off, the break that they needed. And, so going from the, like, I have full on everything going out and nothing for me, and then going into the space of, oh my gosh, now I have to be in recovery mode. I've done that twice, actually, with breast cancer and then severe adrenal fatigue. But again, still not being part of the oneness and the infinite beingness that we truly are, because that was separating me again. So if I wasn't totally in everybody else's universe, I was totally out in my own universe and still separate. And so, what's right about this that I'm not getting? Well, start being stop doing. Start being.
We could start being, like, what is that? What is being you and being a mother? Like I was saying, that in this reality, we don't have examples for this. We have, it's so often what you're saying is the only way that we can choose is by somehow being in dis-ease, breaking something, having a break, being sick and tired. And there's a greater choice. One is to change your point of view that you have to give up your life for your children. So we can get rid of that point of view. Which, like I was saying, kids don't actually want that. I never wanted my mom to give up her life for me. I loved her help and everything she did, and gifted me and the contribution she is and was and still is. But to have her give up her life, no. I want a mom to have a life, and you're kind of setting your kids up for that. Like you say, your kids know that you're in this state of fatigue or anger and all these other things, and that's what they're looking at. What they have to grow up and be. So if you could create something different from your point of view, where you actually included you in your reality, whatever that looks like. The thing is, we can't give you an answer and a rule book about how that is going to look for you, because everybody is going to be totally different. But in just asking the questions, what would it take to include me in the creation of my reality and in the creation of my family, and everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, we just start and create.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. I love this conversation. There is so much here. So what are some of the things you did when you started having a different point of view, where you didn't have to be sick and tired, that were including you in your life, where it wasn't about everyone else and all the energy going to them? What were some of the things you did, or some of the questions you may have asked that changed this for you? Because really, that's what the listeners want to hear. It's like, how do we change
Yes. How do we change this? Exactly. So, the part about going into being, I actually had all these other tools and modalities, and I could try little bits and pieces of them. But the single most thing that contributed to the most to changing this for me was to actually spend lots of time in nature. Go out in nature where there is no judgment, and to reconnect with the earth. And so when you think I'm, sitting on the beach and the waves are crashing around me and I am here and then the ocean is there, but then you have that moment where you're like, oh, I'm here, the ocean is here, we're here, or all of that, so just connect somehow with nature, whatever that is. If you're in an office, go downstairs into the park across the street and take off your socks and shoes and wiggle your toes in the grass, kind of like what Julia Roberts had him do in it was a Pretty Woman, right? So she had to do that, just kind of reconnect for a moment there, feet in the grass, toes in the sand or in the surf, hiking up the mountain. Just somewhere where there is no judgment, to help you start shifting into that place of no judgment of you. Judgment being comparing to when you're trying to get it right as a parent or make your kids, perfect kid. That's all judgment. So out in nature, connecting with the earth really just affords you that space, just gives you a glimpse of what being is. And then you can come back into the house and ask those questions that you're talking about. What can I do or be different? What's right about this that I'm not getting? What else is possible here that I haven't yet imagined? Question, 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 question without a point of view.
Those are great. Oh, I love that. Just the energy of what you were talking about, being out in nature for you and what that creates for your body and for you. It's beautiful. And, all of you guys are going to be different about what it is. Like, I like to go to a dance class or go for a walk. Also, it's one of the things, maybe go swimming. Those are some of the things that sometimes just sit with a silly movie. I think I was watching the Hallmark Channel because I got sucked in all these crazy Christmas movies that were so sappy with such sweet endings where everyone falls in love and happy. And I watched a couple of them in a row and kind of giggled through them. But then I was like, wow, that was just me being me. That was me. I enjoyed that. And it can be as simple as turning on a stupid television show or a wonderful one, going for a walk. One of the things you can just ask is, if what can I do or be today that would include me?
Yes.
It would create more for me. What is that?
And what I love about what I love about what you're saying is the inclusion of your body. So I've always admired that about you, is that the way that you can work with bodies and how you are with your body, and just being so aware of what it requires in terms of movement, dance or touch, like snuggling on the couch while you're watching the movies, things like that. So, and that would be my number 2. If I was given my top 3, the first thing would be the earth. The number 2 is like, be aware of your body and include your body in this, and ask your body questions of what it would create, because it's just not this shell or casing, that's taking us
I love that
through life. There's so much information, that your body could give us. It's like, hey,
yes,
what would create more for you right now?
About your body. I mean, raising kids is about your body from the second you're pregnant, and on. It's about your body, and including your body is so important. And I've heard, Gary Douglas, founder of Access, amazing man. AccessConsciousness.com. You can find out more about him. He says, to gift yourself 1 hour a day and 1 day a week to your body, to you, to being, to gift that to yourself. As a parent, I was like, what? When I first heard that, are you kidding? There's no way I have time for that. Have you ever seen my schedule? I get up at 5 in the morning, I go to bed at midnight, and every second is in there between what I do with work and what I do with my kids. How is that possible? And then it was like, oh, this is about receiving. It really is about receiving. And it doesn't have to look like we think it does. It could actually be, I am kind of doing work, but I'm sitting in a beautiful space when I'm doing it. And that's the hour gift. It doesn't have to look really regimented. It can look the way it works for you. It doesn't have to look anything like what Julie and I are talking about. It can be the way your body would like to receive that. And it can be different every day. It's just an hour a day. I mean, I started with just 30 minutes once a week was my start, and I'm better, much better.
Yes. Yeah. And, it can be so simple, exactly as you're saying. And that would be my third thing, is that, do something that creates joy, that is really joyful for you. So be in a space, something joy. And so for me, I like to do kind of handicraft work. So sometimes I'll take some time and do that. Lately, I like to write. So I've been writing. So that has been actually very creative and very expressive for me. So I'll just take some time and make that fun. I love to do like scrapbooking, looking at pictures that capture a moment in time and an energy of that, and creating something beautiful around that, either a frame or a photo page or something like that. So something that gives you such joy and can change. So, like my husband will tell you that. He'll like, what about all that scrapbooking stuff you have in there? You haven't done that in a while. And I'll be, yep, I know, because it's changed for a little bit. But, and I just keep coming back to it. So what is it that brings you joy? And bask in that. Bask in that for...
Yeah, Julie, that's such a great question. What brings you joy? And, some people may not even have any awareness of that. And just the question, what brings me joy that I've never considered? It'll start popping up and showing up around you. Just what brings me joy that I've never considered? Because we might have some ideas and conclusions and decisions about what it is. And we may have never really allowed ourselves to be aware of what brings us joy. So play with that. Play with that question and be okay if maybe you go, oh, I think, walking down the beach here would give me joy, and it doesn't work out so well. Choose something again. It's just in 10 seconds. Or, you're going to go out to dinner with friends and it's not a fun time. Well, that wasn't joy. Okay, so in 10 seconds, that is not joy for me. What else could be joy I've never considered? So you can start having an awareness about what it is for you. I love your story and how much you changed. And so it's it's so inspirational to hear you talking about all the things you're doing that are joyful for you and how you've included those in your life compared to what we started the conversation out with, the rushed energy, being sick and tired, trying to do everything for everyone else and fit your kids and you into boxes that have nothing to do with them. I mean, this is the consciousness that I am asking for parents all around the world to have just a glimpse of. Like, what's possible with being a parent we've never considered. Yeah, so do you want to mention again how people can get a hold of you?
Yes, the best way to get a hold of me is through my website, www.julieoperkins.com. And yes, I look forward to hearing from people about how this has contributed to them, or what else that Glenna and I can contribute to you, because that is one of our targets. We are really committed to changing this from this kind of rush, frantic energy to this space of possibilities for everyone, where everyone is included in the picture, and it's creating and generating more for everyone. How does it get any better than that?
Oh, how does it get any? That's our favorite question. How does it get any better than that? And what else is possible? Another one that Dr. Pat loves so much. And yes, this is Dr. Glenna Rice. I'm filling in with her. If you guys just came on and are wondering who it is talking. Dr. Pat out for the holidays, so I was filling in for her today, and I was here with Julie Oreson, Perkins, Julie O, and we've had an amazing conversation about being a mother and what if it's not just about everybody else, and you can include you in your reality and in your life. And I'm Dr. Glenna Rice. You can find me at glennarice.com and accessconsciousness.com/Dr. Glenna Rice, and we totally would invite you to check out the Access Consciousness website and the Global Bars Day that's coming up on January 6th.
It's the 6th.
Coming up in a week and a half. January 6th, all over the world.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you. Do you have a personal message you'd like to give to everyone before we go?
Just be you, be joyful, and see what it creates. Thank you so much, Glenna, for having me here. Thanks to Dr. Pat.
All right. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pat. Had a wonderful show.
I beg him, please sing him. Come out of things unsaid. Shoot an apple off my head, and a trouble that can be.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.